Hey there, it's Simon Hurley from Inklips, and welcome to my craft room. Today I'm going to take you along on a guided tour around my craft room to share how I store things and keep them really organized and streamlined as I'm creating my videos and all my creative projects in here. Now I find these videos really helpful to watch to pull different organization methods from different people and bring them over into your room to kind of get a streamlined organization that works really well for you. So for me in this space, I like having everything in drawers, so you'll see basically everything in here is a drawer as you go through. And that's because I find it to be more helpful than bins or things like that, being able to really easily pull them out and put them away because they've all got their own home. If you guys see anything that you really love in this room or any organization methods, I'll leave links down below to the blog post that I have created, and all the information will be over there with lots of different links so you guys can find different storage systems or different, furniture items that I have in this room. I also did want to clarify quickly that crafting and creating videos has kind of become my job now. So you do not need all these supplies to be happy and to be creative. I just find that it's really helpful to have lots of supplies on hand from lots of different companies to include in my videos and really share a bunch of different options for you guys. But I did start downstairs on a folding table with like 2 stamp sets and an ink pad. So I was having lots of fun doing that and was super creative, just as I am today. So having littler supplies and just a little table is completely fine and really awesome to get creative. I did invest a lot into this room, and that's because I knew it was going to be an office and I wanted it to be really organized and really help me stay on track as I'm filming and creating. So without further ado, let's get into the craft room tour. Okay, so starting at the door, I'll start in this corner over here. So this is the area where I do all my work. I have my 2 monitors over here, and I edit and do my voiceovers on these computers. And it's nice to have them in the same room as my crafting desk, because if I'm doing live streams or whatever, I can hook them up over here and I'm able to see everything I'm doing. So it was really nice to implement this in my space. So when you turn here, this is the view that you guys usually see during videos. So this is my crafting desk, and everything behind me is what I use to film. And then down here, you can see my little dog's bed. They tend to lay in here and join me as I'm crafting, filming, or editing, and sometimes you guys hear them during things like live streams. So this desk is actually a kitchen island, so we got it customized because I wanted that really nice big work surface, but I also needed lots of storage in it. So by customizing it, I was able to get exactly what I wanted in a crafting desk, and I'll share what's on top of it. So here I have my crafting mat that you guys usually see. I had a larger one, but I tend to kind of dirty these things up, and they're somewhat hard to clean. So usually I have a non-stick mat underneath. I just have it taped down for now though. And then I always have a rag to the side of me to pick up colors and stuff, and then my guillotine trimmer is sitting here as well, and I use that all the time to cut the cards down. So over here you'll see a TV monitor, and that's hooked up to my camera whenever I do my filming, or I'll use this for live streams as well and hook it up to those computers. And that way I'm able to see everything as I'm at my desk working here to make sure I'm all in film and everything like that. And then here's my microphone. I use the Blue Yeti microphone, and I'll pull it back and forth between my desks to do voiceovers, but also to do introductions to my videos. So that's really helpful as well. Now down here I just have this stool that I use, so sometimes I sit and sometimes I stand when I'm crafting. So I just tuck this in when I'm not using it, but it's just this nice leather kind of bar stool. So moving on into this top drawer here, this is where I keep all of my most used tools. And to be honest, I keep this drawer open mainly whenever I'm working. So I've got my Boon Organizer in here with tons of different tools. Jennifer McGuire had one of these at the beginning, and I thought it was really awesome to store your stuff, so I just keep my adhesives, scissors, inks, and lots of different kind of random tools in here to really keep me organized. And then over here I have different adhesives and strong tapes and stuff like that, as well as some liquid glues and some different spray bottles. So this one has water, and then there's some stamp cleaners here. And then I have my little customized stamp down there. And then in one of these divided clear containers, I have a bunch of different acrylic blocks, and I also have some different pre-cut card stacks. So this is an A2 sized card panel, and then I have some watercolor cardstock and some Bristol cut down. And then I have longer card bases in the back and then some folded right here too. So moving on into the second drawer here, this is where I keep all my distress oxides, and this is also a good storage solution. I'll share another one that I found too, but this one is just a cassette tape holder, and I got it from the thrift store, and it was really cheap, but it holds ink pads really nicely. So these are just all my distress oxide inks, and I'm waiting to fill that next roll there. And then moving on into the bottom drawer here, this is where I keep all my stamps and dies and inks and stuff. This is what I want to use in some of my next projects. So if I find a technique that I want to do, I'll reach down here and look through all the stamps and dies and stuff like that and see if it fits the criteria for the technique that I want to share. So moving over to the other side of the desk, this top drawer is empty, but I'm looking to fill this with different coloring mediums and stuff like that. So to build something into there, we're looking to create that. And then down here, I have my die cutting machine. So this is the Tonic Tangerine, and I just pull this up to my desk whenever I'm filming a tutorial. So it's really helpful to have a drawer for it, so I can bring that onto screen and show you guys. Now over here, this sounds silly, but I wanted a garbage can that looks okay in the room. So this one's by Rubbermaid, and you press the handle and it comes up, and I keep it open during all my projects. But then when I'm done, I close it and it kind of contains the mess really nicely, which I love. So then over here, if I go up a little bit, you'll see my wall of inks here. I really invested in this and got some stamp and storage units. So these are the 120 ink storage units, and I have 2 of them on the wall there. They're really worth it, I would definitely say. Even if you get a smaller unit or whatever, the stamp and storage units are awesome. They're made out of really nice solid wood, and they've got a great construction. And even though this is super heavy with all those inks on it, it's got a really great storage or a hook system on the back. So it really hooks onto the wall nicely when you hang it up, and it holds all these really heavy inks. So I've just got some of my Simon Says stamp and like Hero Arts kind of inks on the top here. And then I've got Altenew, some more Hero Arts, and then a bunch of different random brands on the bottom here. I find it really helpful for creating videos and what I do to have a bunch of different variety of brands of inks, but I really recommend to just choose your favorite ink colors from each brand, and that works really nicely as well. So I'll leave a link down below to Stamp and Storage, and there's a little code you can use down there that gets you a little percentage off the order from me. So then over in this corner I have my little vacuum cleaner, and I love this thing. I keep it charging over here, and I'm able to pull it in and vacuum up the tiny little things while I'm creating. I've got my Copic markers here for now, and then my tonic glass back there. I'm looking to get rid of some of the glare in my videos so I can create and film using that. So this is the backdrop you guys always see. This top was actually just a remnant or like a piece that was left over at my local hardware store, so we picked that up, and it was really affordable to cover this back counter. So if I zoom out a little bit here or go back, hopefully you guys can see, these are the Ikea Alex units, and we actually mounted them together, me and my dad mounted them together onto a base here. So this was an idea that was kind of similar to what Jennifer McGuire has and a couple other crafters. And then in the middle, since these two are lower, we have these little cubby holes here, which are really, really helpful. So I'll share what's inside all the drawers in here. Not everything is full, because I wanted lots of room to grow. So up in this top drawer here is my colored embossing powders. So I've got lots of different brands of embossing powders there, as well as some coffee filters and things like that. Then in the second drawer, I've got all my glitters here. So these are all the Sparkle Dusts, some Brutus Monroe glitters, and then I've got lots of these Swiffer cloths that are already cut up. I find that to be really helpful to clean that stuff up. So in this next drawer are my alcohol inks and my little gilding flakes back there. So I've got my Yupo paper, the alcohol inks in that tin, and then I've got some different tools for the alcohol inks as well in here. And I think these bottom two drawers are actually empty as well. So I've got lots of room to grow in here, which is what I really wanted. So that top drawer is empty too, but here I have my watercolors. So I have all the Brusho, the Ganzai Peerless, and then some different other watercolor powders here from Nuvo, and then some different watercolor paints as well. Then in this second drawer down, I have some different kinds of markers. So these are all the zigs, and then I have the Nuvo markers, some distress markers here, and some pencils. And I'm looking again to put that in the drawer over there. So I'm looking to put like most of my coloring mediums there, so I have them right next to me then. Now here I have all my little mini inks, so I've got all of them stored over here in those tins. And then I also have some blending brushes, Nuvo blending brushes, some little blenders, and then Tim's little tools, as well as the detail tools back there. So this is kind of like my blending drawer over here. Down here I have lots of Nuvo Mousse, and I keep these in little inter-design containers. Those are really helpful. And then I've got my glitter paste as well down here. So basically anything you can really like spread and things like that, and then some blending tools or like sponges as well. And then on the bottom here, it's really random, but I just have 12 by 12 pieces of cardstock. I don't use it for my card making projects, but sometimes for taking pictures it's really nice as well. So this is some like floss and things for cross-stitching on cards. It's become really popular. And then I've got some like projects that I still need to finish back here, and some needles and all the supplies for that. Then here are all of my embellishments. So I have some different twines, again some different flosses and threads back there, and then I've got a bunch of random sequins, and I bought this as well. This was a great investment. I just bought it, but it's for all your different sequins and stuff like that. And I love that these little compartments pull out, so I can take one or two over to my desk rather than the whole thing. And then I've got some extras over here that didn't quite fit into there. Then moving on, I have some different glitters and sequins in those glass bottles from Nuvo. And then I have some different interactive card pieces too. So I got the chibi lights here, some different action wobblers, fairy lights in case if you want to put those in cards, and then lots of different felt as well. And I find that's a great texture for cards too. And then this bottom drawer has everything for foiling. So I've got my Gina K sets down here that are like the layered foiling with the prints. And then I have the transfer gel and lots of different foils, as well as Gina's foils back here, and then a laminator as well to do all my foiling. So moving up here, this top drawer is for white paper scraps. So I find it to be helpful to have the white scraps down here. I don't have any other drawers for any other colors, but I find white is really helpful to have. So here are some of my tools that I reach for, but not super often, so I didn't find it necessary to have it next to me in my desk. So it's kind of just random. There's all different types of tools in here, as well as things to hang and like organize things as well. It's kind of like a junk drawer with all my tools. So then this is lots of different adhesives. So you have that big, huge roll of scrapbook.com adhesive. I find myself using that a lot. And then some tape runner and different kinds of tapes and strong adhesives as well in here. So these are kind of like refills, or if I need some adhesive, I'll go right to here. Then here I have all my sprays. So these are Nuvo mists, some Bruce Monroe mists, and then some sprays that I made myself. And then on the bottom here, I have a bunch of random like backdrops for filming or taking pictures or things like that. Some different succulents, some rocks and stuff, all things for taking pictures or like filling different pots in this room with them. So moving on to these little cubbies here, I love these things for keeping what I use most, so I can just turn around and grab it. So I have my cardstock full sheets here with white and black, and then I have these little mats for inking over here. And then I have some different stamp positioning tools. So I have my Misties and my tonic stamp platforms, and I use those a ton. And then I have some different foam adhesive that I use a lot, score tools, as well as a bunch of different little trimmers. Some of these I've tried and haven't loved, but if I need a little guideline, I'll go back to the Fiskars trimmer. And then I reach for this one often. It's this little small Tim Holtz trimmer, and I bring this to my desk just to cut off little corners or pieces of cards and fix them. So moving back up to the desk here, I keep all these cards and projects that people have sent me right back here to kind of display them in my background of my videos. I have lots of different coloring mediums as well over here. And then I keep kind of a lot of different decorations on the top here for my background of my videos. And then over here I have some different Nuvo drops. And a ton of people ask about this acrylic stand for it. It's really awesome, and I love storing the drops in there. So I'll leave that linked over at the blog post as well, so you guys can find that, because I do get lots of questions about it. And then up on the side here, I keep lots of different notes that companies have sent me if they send over products or things like that to use in the videos. I love getting different notes from companies and owners and things like that, so I hang all those fun notes up as well. So moving on into this cabinet over here, this is where I store lots of different stamps and dies and things like that. So lots of my storage happens in here, and again, I usually keep this open while I'm filming or creating projects, but I like that it closes off and kind of hides some of the mess that might be inside here. So again, drawers are really helpful for me. So I've got all these into drawers so I can really stuff them to the back and be able to still see everything that's inside here. So everything pulls out really nicely. So here I have Jennifer McGuire's system of holding the cardstock in those little sleeves, and I keep all my colored scraps in there too, and that just really helps me use everything up and make sure that it's all nice and used when I'm doing my cardstock. So then over here I have all of like the Nuvo and Tonic specialty cardstocks. I love using those on cards too, so I've got a different variety of them here. I've got my stencils back there. This just kind of holds things up for now. And then some different kits, so that's a Gina K kit right there. Then here is where I store and organize my stamp sets. So I have them in the system that Jennifer McGuire uses again. I take lots of inspiration from other artists because I find that if it works for them, I'll pick and choose stuff that works for me as well. So I've got them in the Avery L stamp packets here and stored by company, and I find that helpful for me as I'm working in case I'm doing different videos and things like that and I need them organized by company. I know kind of what each company has. And then back here there's the larger stamp sets that companies are starting to make more often now, which I really like. I've got Tim's rubber sets back there and Wendy's as well, and then some background stamps stored right here. So I'm going to kind of upgrade this and kind of renovate this area here as it's not really being too used right now, but as my collection grows there's definitely room for it. So down to the next drawer here, this is where I store my dies. So I have lots of different die cuts. These are the larger like background dies here, some layering, and then I have them all stored by like theme or image here because I don't quite know what brand makes what, and there's lots of different kinds of dies. So having them stored like that is really helpful depending on what I'm looking for. And then there's lots of different little Tonic sentiments back there as well. Now this area I have two little inter-design containers, and I keep some cleaners here for like stamp cleaners, and then I also keep my label maker, some different cheaper label tapes here down in the front. I've used those ever since I got my label maker. It really helps with cost. And then I got my different stamp storage pockets and die pockets as well. So this next drawer is kind of fun. This is where all of my extra things go. So things that I might have bought, like a roll of foam tape, so I can go right to here in case if I run out of things. And then lots of different things in here are from like Tonic kits or things like that that I might have extras from. So I just throw them down into here, and if I ever run out of a color, I'll go straight to here, and this is kind of where I look. And I also kind of pull some of this stuff for giveaways sometimes as well. So there's lots of extra cardstock in here as well, and then like spray bottles. I use for videos sometimes, so I like having those on hand, and lots of extra adhesive because I go through that stuff really fast when I'm creating videos. So down way at the bottom here, this is where I store my cards in that same double inter-design container, and I really need to get sending some of these out here. But I've got lots of different cards that I create in here. They all go right inside there when I'm done filming, and then I've got a bunch of different washi tapes, the clear plastic pockets that I store the cards in, and then some envelopes from Gina K over here. And this is kind of the area with all my mailing stuff and my cards in it. And then up top, it's nothing really too interesting. There's different boxes from kits that I've had, or like boxes that I want to use for mailing, and then up in the back there, in the way back, there's like refills for like my paper towel holder and things like that, and some new releases up there too that I'm waiting to use in future months. So over in the corner next to the cabinet, I showed in the past that I use, tiles and things like that to take my photos. So I put little felt pads on them, and this is where I keep all of those stored. Just kind of leaned up against there. They're kind of hidden, but they're protecting the floor with that little non-stick mat there, and it's really easy storage for that. So this side is kind of a catch-all mess for lots of my mess, and I'm working on cleaning this up and getting it more organized. But this is where I keep my Vagabond, and this is what I use to cut dies off screen, and I really like the, you know, how it goes through by itself and it's mechanical. So I really like that for die cutting and things like that. So I hope you guys really enjoyed that tour of my space and got some more inspiration on how I store everything and how you want to store your creative space. Once again, I'll leave links down below to the blog post with everything linked over there. And also leave a comment down below on what your favorite area of the space was and what favorite storage method you have in here. I hope you all have an awesome and wonderful day, and I'll see you all very soon for another card making and crafting video. Bye!